You have me with sunglasses on this morning, even though technically I probably don't need them just yet. I'm off to the gym. I'm very tired. It's Monday morning. Welcome to a new week. Hello, it's Thursday, and it's specifically the Thursday before Easter. So tomorrow is Good Friday, which means in Australia at least, it's a public holiday, yay. So effectively today is actually Friday. I had a really good start to the day. I went to the gym this morning. My shoulder is feeling so much better. Oh, I can't believe it. And I'm so happy that it's made such a, well, it wasn't a speedy recovery because for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I was just trying to fix it myself. And obviously that doesn't work. It helps to go and see a professional. So my shoulder's feeling much, much better. I've done a workout this morning and I'm just about to log on and start working. So today's scent of the day is a layering combo. And it's one that I haven't worn in ages. And I used to wear this a lot in summertime, but I didn't wear it at all this summer, just gone. So because the sun has come out today, which is partly why I'm in such a good mood, we have had probably a good week of just overcast and rainy, proper rain, just like this, that horrible drizzle that's just so gloomy. And actually, I don't mind gloomy weather that much. I kind of like being indoors with a cup of tea when the weather's all gloomy. And even if I have to work, I'm okay with it. It's when I have to go outside that I don't want to deal with it. Anyway, I haven't worn this layering combination for a long, long time. And the reason they're at the top of my mind is because, well, A, the sun is out, so it's a great day to wear these particular fragrances. But also I stumbled across a video by, I think Verity Scents is the name of the creator, and I'm guessing her name is Verity. And she did a video. I'd never seen any of her videos before, and she did a video on tuberose and it popped into my feed, and of course I love tuberose, so I was like, yeah, I'm watching this. And somebody had left a comment on her video about this perfume, which is Gardens of India by Parloir de Parfum. And that got me thinking, and I responded to that comment saying yes, but also, I mean, to me, I feel like I get more jasmine than tuberose. There is tuberose in here, but I feel like I get more jasmine from this one. But then I also love to layer it with Narcotic V by Nazamato. So I love these two together. Gardens of India is sort of bright, sparkly, a little bit citrusy in the opening. And as I said, I get jasmine in here as well. Yeah, I definitely get a jasmine tuberose combination. And then Narcotic V is definitely tuberose dominant. It's got this sort of watery feel, but also it's got kind of a creaminess to it as well. So it's like beautiful creamy white flower petals that are covered in dewdrops or something, you know. That's what I like about this one. All right, so this is my layering combination for the day. All right, well, I'm about to go log on and get some work done because I want to be able to finish at the end of the day today and not feel like I have to do anything over the long weekend. Welcome back. It is Easter Saturday. I am about to head out. I purchased a cashmere sweater online, very extravagant. I've never had a piece of cashmere. I've never owned any cashmere before, and unfortunately I didn't like it. It's not that I don't like the fabric, I don't like the color and the shape of the item. It's like an open cardigan, like a bolero type thing, I guess. It's just the wrong shape for me. It doesn't work for me at all. So I'm taking that back. I've been doing my makeup, and after the last couple of videos, I've been getting some questions about how I do it. So literally I have, at the moment, I'm just using this little sample of Chanel Sublimage Le Teint cream foundation, and I also have some of the Bobbi Brown face base. And then what I do is I just put a little bit of both on my hand like that, and then I mix them together. Then it just looks like I've got lots of foundation on my hand, and then all I do is I dot it on my face. I started doing this because this particular foundation, I really like the color match of it. I feel like it really matches my skin tone really, really well. But because it's a cream foundation, it's just too thick for me. So I prefer to mix it in with a bit of this Bobbi Brown face base. I feel like that helps it to melt into the skin a little bit better. It does make it less coverage, but I don't mind that so much. My skin is definitely not perfect. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. And I do have, you know, like little marks and stuff on my cheeks from when I've previously had some really bad acne problems when I was a little bit younger, and even just in the last couple of years. I think you might remember if you've been watching me for a couple of years, I went back onto Roaccutane for a little while, and then I basically was on it until we went away to Europe to get married. So yeah, basically all I do is sometimes I use my fingers as well. Just depends on how much time I've got and how much I want to fuss with it. But I just find that this it just evens out the skin tone a little bit, and it doesn't feel or look like I'm wearing like a whole full face of makeup. I already had sunscreen on underneath, by the way. I always put sunscreen on. And that's pretty much all I do. And then sometimes on days like today where I feel like there's just a couple of little spots where when I'm really inspecting it and I think, I think I'd like to have a little bit more coverage on those, I just dot a little bit of extra. We took Poppy for a walk this morning, and I was wearing sunglasses, and I've got the lovely indent on my nose. I really hate that. But by the same token, I really love my aviator sunglasses. So I'm not prepared to change my style of sunglasses just so that I can avoid having that little red spot. And that, for those of you who are curious, is literally all I do. Well, apart from, I also have this Narcotic V Cosmetics powder. It's called the Velvet Finishing Powder. And I just put a tiny, tiny bit. It comes with this little sponge, and I just put the tiniest bit. So I am legitimately hopeless at recording my life on a camera. I just never think to pull out a camera and record things in the moment. So today I did a spin class this morning, which was really hard after the Easter break to get up at 4:30. And I also wasn't feeling that great. I had a bit of a sore stomach, and yeah, I wasn't in the best mood. So I got up, I went to the spin class, and the only fragrance that I put on my skin before I left the house was my Dear Woman body lotion, which actually is quite powerful for a skin lotion, a scented skin lotion. So I thought that was pretty good. I mean, I didn't really anticipate I was going to put anything else on. And then when I parked the car, I was just rustling around in my bag. I found my little decant of Yin Transformation by the Harmonist, which I had put in there because I figured I reviewed that and I didn't bag it. I like the perfume and I really enjoy wearing it. But at the time, when I reviewed it, I felt like the price tag wasn't really justified. How I know that, I don't know. This is a good question, and Pep and I have been having this conversation offline about, how do we value perfume? And I think it's a very individual thing, obviously. So I don't know whether or not it's worth the price tag, but from a scent profile alone, I initially did not think that it was worth the $300 plus price tag. However, I did spritz some on right before I went into my spin class. Not a lot, because it's also quite a projecting perfume, and I didn't want to put anybody off in the class. I really enjoyed it. I was getting whiffs of it during the class, and then especially towards the end of the class, I feel like it changed. My gripe with it previously was that it was kind of a fruity floral scent profile, which I was just not that excited about. But later on in the class, and maybe this was, a combination of my sweat, of which there was much, and a little bit of the Dear Woman skin lotion as well. But it seemed to get more woody, a little bit more musky. It warmed up really beautifully. The fruity notes really toned down, and I really enjoyed it. And so I think I finally got what other people have been getting from this perfume, and that is, I think it's actually meant to be a sandalwood perfume. But to me, it was always this sort of fruity, musky, florally scent profile with sandalwood in the base. And I'm sorry about all the noise. Ben is testing out his new apprentice skills and is building us a balustrade for our new balcony. So I don't want to interrupt that because he's doing a good job. It actually looks really great. I'm really excited about it being finished. I guess my point is I thoroughly enjoyed Yin Transformation this morning. Yeah, I'm eating my words on my previous review or the previous thoughts that I shared. However, if the only time that I'm going to get this beautiful scent profile that I got this morning is, at the very end of a very hot, sweaty gym class, then I probably don't need a full bottle. So anyway, that was my little update on Yin Transformation. Today, my scent of the day is The Favourite by Penhaligons. I have to admit, I don't know what's going on, but this smelled really, really strong today. Like overpoweringly strong. And I didn't even spritz that much. I think the last time I wore this, I went ham with it. I mean, the weather was very hot, so I think perfume was just generally dissipating. But the last time I wore this was when I actually got complimented by the gym owner when I was signing up at the new gym. And I haven't worn it since, which is funny because, most people when they get complimented on a perfume would probably then wear the perfume more because they want to get more compliments. Anyway, I haven't worn it since. That was, back in February. But the funny thing is, today I put this on, a few spritzes, nothing major, and it felt almost overwhelming to me. It was so strong. So I don't know what's going on with my nose today. Obviously, it's having a little moment. Not that I didn't enjoy or haven't enjoyed wearing this today. I really have. It's just weird that all of a sudden it was super strong. And I am still getting whiffs of it now, although I think that's mostly coming from my clothing, not really my skin. And I have also been sampling some other things today, so that doesn't help. Yeah, Penhaligon's The Favourite. Don't know what's going on, but it just felt really strong today. Good morning. I'm not sure why I have a red lip on today, or it's sort of more of a dark pink, but anyway, it was a mistake. I was going for something very casual. I didn't want to be wearing too much. It occurred to me that we're due to go to Madrid in a not very long time. We're totally not organized. We don't even have half of our accommodation booked yet. So as I was doing my makeup this morning, I was starting to think about what makeup I want to take with me, because I am trying to minimize. I definitely don't want to take as much stuff with me as we did last year, but that was obviously we were getting married and there were things I felt I needed for that trip. I definitely don't need that much stuff for this trip. Also, this trip is a lot shorter. It's only 2.5 weeks, I think. So yeah, not very long at all. We will be going to Paris as well. I'm so excited. I'm finally getting to actually go and have a few days to check out the perfumeries, all of the perfumeries that I've been wanting to check out. Definitely on my list is Serge Lutens, Guerlain, obviously. I also would like to go and see Jovois as well. Realistically, I'm probably only going to have one day where I get to go and do perfume stuff. Anyway, today, my scent of the day is 1904 by Histoire de Parfum. It's a bit hard to see, sorry, because I'm just using natural light here. This is a really beautiful iris scent. It's from their Opera collection. And this is iris done in a suede sort of format. So it is a very suedey kind of iris, slightly leathery. It's so soft. It's also a little bit green, I think. I feel like, I don't know if there's cardamom or something in here, but I feel like I get a little bit of a hint of a green spice. And it's just so soft and beautiful. The scent cloud that you get from this is just stunning. I wish I had a bigger bottle of it. What I wanted to talk about this morning though is that I don't know what it is, but I seem to have been having lots of problems with atomizers lately. So this is the third bottle in the last few days that I've realized isn't spraying very well. So this atomizer is, yeah, it's just not, I don't really want to waste it because I've only got 15 mils, but it's just not spraying well. It's sort of a bit munted and it's a bit drippy, and I'm really sad about it because I think with this perfume in particular, it would be lovely to have that beautiful fine mist. I'm pretty sure my Amber 114, which is also in the same bottle. In fact, most of my Histoire de Parfums are in these 15ml travel sizes. They're a fantastic size, and it just means that I get to try more from the brand, and there's many from the brand that I really enjoy. But this one is spraying, I mean, it's not a fantastic sprayer, but this is definitely going better than this one. So I'm a bit sad about that. But then, yeah, there was another one the other day. I think it was Derviche by Rogue Perfumery. That will not spray at all at the moment. So I think I'm going to have to take the atomizer out and soak it or clean it or something to see if I can unjam it. And then there was another one as well, the Clean Musk from Sarah Horowitz. That also wasn't working so well the other day. So I'm just like, what is going on? All of my atomizers are breaking or jamming up. I also had another package arrive in the mail this week. This is, I nearly dropped it, another Ormonde Jayne, but this one was sent to me in PR this time. This is their new Vanille d'Afrique, I think it's called. And this one is lovely. It's a really beautiful vanilla, which if you have been a fan of Ormonde Jayne for quite some time, you will recognize this. It's very, very similar to the Vanille d'Iri, which I have a full bottle of, but this was discontinued a few years ago, and a lot of people were very sad about that. I can't remember why, but I think in the first interview that I did with Linda Pilkington, which I think is up on the channel, I'm pretty sure we talked about this, and I think she explained why this one was being discontinued. Anyway, they have released this Vanille d'Afrique, and it's very, very similar. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison yet, but my initial thoughts are that this one, I think, may be a little bit darker in the opening. Maybe it's some kind of fruit that's doing that, some dark fruit. And then this one, I feel, is a bit lighter and maybe a little bit more citrusy in the opening, this Vanille d'Iri, the old version. But they dry down. Well, I haven't done a side-by-side comparison, obviously, as I just said, but the dry down of this, if I didn't know that it was this and not Vanille d'Iri, I would assume it was Vanille d'Iri. So they're very, very, very similar. I'm very pleased. I mean, not that I'm ever going to get through this massive, this is one of the older bottles. I'm never going to get through this, so I don't need to have this. Anyway, so my initial thoughts are, I feel like this is the replacement to Vanille d'Iri, which a lot of people were very, very sad about losing. And I'm very, very glad that they have managed to find a way to release something that talks to the original Vanille d'Iri. Anyway, that is all I'm going to say about that today, because again, I haven't tested it properly, but I'm very, very excited about this. Again, I feel like this is just slightly darker than the original Vanille d'Iri. And even now, just smelling this out of the atomizer, I feel like this might have a little bit more of a boozy edge to it compared to the old Vanille d'Iri, which was very much just a leathery, suede iris. All right, well, I had better get to work. I have a presentation to prepare, and I will see you in the next clip. All right, I just got back from the post office to pick up a package. This is something that I ordered through the Facebook groups, and it's something that I have been wanting for years, in fact. But every time they get posted on the Facebook groups, I always miss them because they go very, very quickly. I just jagged it the other night. I just managed to log in just at the right time, and it had literally, I think the poster had only been up for about 2 minutes. So let's have a look here. This is an enormous bottle. I would normally have preferred to get the smaller size bottle, but this is the one that was posted, and it was posted for a very good price. So I am finally, after many, many years now, a proud owner of Coromandel by Chanel. And this is also my very first 200ml bottle from Chanel. Goodness knows what I'm going to do with all of this, but as I said, when you're buying secondhand, you don't always get a choice, and the price that this was posted for, I really didn't have to think about it that hard. So, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm not going to put it on right now because I just literally doused myself in Vanille d'Afrique by Ormonde Jayne, and also 1906 by Histoire de Parfum. So I am all irised up right now, big time. So I did spray the Vanille d'Afrique. I've got the Vanille d'Afrique on this hand and the Vanille d'Afrique on this one. And I've had them on for probably about half an hour at this point. So they've definitely dried down. They are quite similar. As I mentioned earlier, the Vanille d'Afrique is definitely darker. There's a lot more woods and a lot more, I think there's some dark fruits in here. And what I'm really getting, I haven't looked at the notes yet, but what I'm getting is, I think I'm getting oud. You know how when oud is mixed with those dark fruits, it gets quite a distinctive smell when it's mixed with dark fruits, I think. I don't even know if there's dark fruits in here, but that's just what it feels like. Whereas I don't get that at all from the Vanille d'Afrique. So I think just from that perspective, my preferences still lean towards the original Vanille d'Afrique, but that's just my personal preference. If you like oud and if you like woods, and sort of that dark fruit sort of feel to a fragrance, then this one might be more your speed out of the two. Having said that, now that they've dried down, I feel like they're very, very, very similar. And if I was wearing one or the other, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's only because I know that I'm wearing two different ones and comparing them side by side that I can definitely tell a little bit of a difference. This one is slightly sweeter and it's got a bit of a hint of a darkness to it, maybe a little bit more woody, whereas this one is much more buttery, leathery, suede-y sort of feel. So this one's a lot softer. The Vanille d'Afrique is also a higher concentration perfume because all of the Ormonde Jayne bottles now come in a higher concentration. So I also have to keep that in mind as well. I feel like the Vanille d'Afrique opens a little bit more light and sparkly, whereas, and I think again, it's probably because I think the Vanille d'Afrique does have some citruses in the top, whereas I think the Vanille d'Afrique is just that little bit darker. It's a little bit more evening style in the opening compared to the Vanille d'Afrique. There you go. That's my little comparison. And I need to clean up this mess and get back to work. Okay, so I've just looked up the notes. There's no oud in here. The light edge that I was getting on this is actually, I think, the jasmine. I think there might be a slightly indolic edge to the jasmine in here in the opening, and that is what I was getting. I don't know what's giving it that darker edge in the opening. Maybe it is just all of the florals that are in there, because I think in the top you've got jasmine, osmanthus, magnolia. I don't know, there's something in there that makes it feel darker, and I thought I was getting dark fruits, but there's obviously none of those either. They're definitely not listed, but there is definitely a very much a darker edge to this perfume in the opening compared to the original Vanille d'Afrique. Spin class done for another day. That was a killer today. Absolute, I'm dying. I'm so hot and sweaty, and I've been cooling down for about 10 minutes and I'm still sweating like pig. Anyway, I wore Yin Transformation again today and really, really enjoyed it. It is actually a really easy one to wear when you're exercising. It starts off really sweet, but then it settles down. That guy just rode through a red light. Okay. So it starts off really sweet and quite fruity and sort of like this sweet, musky, fruity thing really, which I don't really enjoy the opening that much. But the dry down is really, really delightful. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. I've just had a shower and I've put on a fresh face. I have not done my hair yet, as you can probably tell, but I am very soon about to go down and record a podcast. I'm being interviewed by the lovely Claire Presser at Paperback Perfumes. I think that's the name of the podcast. She's also on Instagram as well, so definitely check her out. I'll link her stuff on the screen and in the description box below. Yeah, so I'm about to go downstairs and do that, and then I have some errands I need to run today. All right, well, I better get myself organized. I need to grab the perfumes and my camera and my laptop and my headset and everything and get that all set up downstairs. I'm doing it downstairs in Matt's Cairo room because the builders are working next door, and very shortly some people are going to be working on our front deck. They're building a balustrade. It's pretty exciting. This deck got built about 2.5 years ago, and we only just got the roof on it about a few months ago because it's just been so hard to get tradies. And Matt's son, who is Chippy, is building the balustrade for us. So it's very exciting. We're going to have, hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of the weekend, a finished deck. Very excited. I'm doing really well, thanks. Well, it's going to be really boring, Claire, because I'm wearing one of the ones that we're going to be talking about today. Yeah, okay. So I am wearing Precious Forest today. Right, so we finished the podcast. It was meant to go for an hour and it went for 3. We spoke for so long, although, the last hour was us offline just chatting. So it was awesome. Had a really great time. Claire said her podcast will be going live next Thursday, the 11th of April, which is good because that means that I can alert you to the podcast going live and you can go check it out. All right. Well, I've missed the dry cleaner. One of my tasks today was that I was going to go to the dry cleaner and pick up a coat that's been sitting there for months. That's all right. I can do that on Monday. But now I have some other errands that I have to run. I do need to do something with my hair though, because it looks atrocious. And I'll bring you along. So I was saying that I recorded that podcast this morning with Claire, and in that podcast we talked about a perfume which was a sample that I sent her called Songe. I didn't realize we were going to talk about everything. I purchased it late January and I received it in February, and I literally received it right before I sent her a bunch of samples, and so I thought, I'll throw some of this in as well, because I know how hard it is to actually get samples of Goutal perfumes in Australia. You can't, unless you know somebody who's got them, it's really hard to get samples because there's no one who sells and distributes them here. So the only way you can buy them is through online retailers. Anyway, so we were talking about this perfume, and first of all, I called it a tuberose perfume, which it is not. It's mostly jasmine and ylang ylang and something else I can't remember, but it's white florals and white and yellow florals. But I don't think there's any tuberose or much tuberose in there. Maybe there's a little bit. Mostly jasmine. But I just remember the way she described it, she mostly got the florals. She thought it was a very, very pretty floral fragrance. And that is not what I remembered from it. It is beautiful, but I remember when I sampled it when we were in Italy, I remembered thinking that it was really earthy, kind of spicy, and being like having sort of a dusty vintage feel to it. Anyway, so we were talking on the podcast, and I'm just sitting there in the back of my mind. I'm going, there's something that I'm not remembering about this perfume that I'm not relaying on this podcast. And I was thinking, maybe it was just the jasmine. And then she was saying that the jasmine wasn't very indolic. And I'm going, maybe my recollection on that's wrong. Anyway, I was so curious about it that even though I decided I was going to wear Sunny Side Up today, I sprayed it on and I wasn't really feeling it. So I decided to go and spritz on a little bit of Songe. And lo and behold, the first thing that jumps out at me is cumin. There's a cumin note in here. And that is what I was getting. So for me, this is not It's beautiful. I love it, even with the cumin note. The cumin, it's not overdone, but there is definitely an element to it that it's got a slight edge to it. Let's just put it that way, slight edge. Probably more of an edge than the cumin in So Nude by Costume National. If you are familiar with that one, it's another one that I've spoken about many times over the years. I love that one. I even spritzed it on the other day, actually, because I haven't worn it for ages. I'm actually thinking of doing a video where I talk about, you maybe go back through my videos from 2020 and my first year on YouTube and maybe revisit and see if I still love all of the ones that I claimed to love back then. But yeah, So Nude, still love that one. So the cumin in Songe is more prominent, more noticeable than it is in So Nude. So if you thought it was too much in So Nude, you'd probably think it's too much in Songe. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share that because it's been bugging me all morning since we did that podcast. It bugged me that I wasn't better prepared for a start. Anyway, so that was that.